Hello, social media. This is Alexis the First. Um, as you know, I'm no social media personality, but every once in a while, I feel it important to address the public at large. And I know that majority of people get their news or information from social media. So it makes sense that I want to talk to you about this event that's going on in the primarily in the Haitian community at this time in Miami. In Florida, we're experiencing some very traumatic events regarding ICE. Basically, the way they're treating people who are here actually legally. They're called TPS. They're in temporary status here in the United States. They're actually here legally. However, with the current administration, the way things have been going, there's a lot of things that are being done that are necessarily above board, and a lot of people don't really know their rights either. So therefore, we have a situation where you have a group of people who are used to being abused, a group of people who are used to being, neglected and treated negatively, and now these people don't necessarily feel confident enough to stand up for themselves. And so I believe that if someone is unable to defend themselves, if someone is unable to do for themselves, a leader should do for them, because not everyone is capable of defending themselves, whether by word or deeds. Now, I hear of this phenomenon that's going on social media where actual other Haitians are laughing at the plight of people who are getting deported and who are being repatriated to a country they haven't seen since they were young. That I attribute that to mainly ignorance, because it would have to be that, because it doesn't make sense that you would laugh at a fellow brother or sister because we are from Haiti, therefore we are family, we are related, that you would laugh at your brothers or sisters' plight, knowing how traumatic these events are. We're not talking about people who came under the Biden program, who has been here for just a few years. We're talking about people who actually grew up here in the United States and call you the U.S. home. They've gone to school here with you. They live next to you. They go to these are people in your neighborhood. These are people who are actually family members, productive members of society who have no criminal record whatsoever. So while you could find other pretexts to defend what's going on, but these people are essentially innocent people that are being targeted, and I think this is just to cause a lot of fear, because if they take my neighbor, then how comfortable or confident that I feel, whether I'm a citizen or not. Who's to say I'm not next? Because we never thought we see this day happen. This is very reminiscent of the time when Hitler was in power. Basically he used people's, I guess, misgivings about the Jews to use that to essentially wipe them out. And a lot of things that's been happening nowadays, really, this happened to an American, this would be considered an act of war. Basically taking people off the street, putting them in locations where their family members don't know what they are. They cannot locate them. They cannot find them. So some of these people have died in custody, and unjustly so, and for no reason at all. So this is what you're laughing at. When you're laughing at that, when you're laughing at people being deported, this is what you're laughing at also, because this is all a part of it. You are a part of it. You are a part of the problem. And I know this is just a social media thing. I know this is something that you do because you want to be seen, but I know in your heart of hearts, you don't really feel this way. You know how this feels. I know how this feels. So therefore, as a family member, I have to believe that you have it in your heart to not really make light of something that is so very chaotic. We live in a time where everything is very uncertain. But I say, the people that are being repatriated, maybe this is God's will. Maybe God has an idea for them, for Haiti itself. Sending people back who are educated, people back who have degrees, who have careers, who have financial freedom, and they're repatriating to a country where they can maybe be of help, and maybe the country itself would benefit from that. But I guess one thing I would like to say is I would implore anyone, whether you be Haitian, Black Americans, Caucasian, whatever, I would really encourage you to step away from social media every once in a while and do a bit of reading, do a little bit of reading about Haitians and Haitian history themselves. Because our history is nothing small. It's nothing to laugh at. It's nothing that that was just like a fluke. It was by any means it was a miracle. because we defeated, like, I think one of the greatest, military nation power at the time. And we didn't have weapons, we didn't have generals, we didn't have maps, we didn't have any of the things that an army would have to defeat another great army. What we had was love, though. We had love, and we had God on our side. And I believe that God is on our side right now more than ever, because I think it makes sense, because it's been 222 years and we have stood the test of time. 222 years of freedom, and through earthquakes, through plagues, through us being both people, through us being aids to the United States, to now mass deportation, Haiti and Haitians stand strong still. We are a nation that's unbeatable. It's impossible we're impossible to destroy. I know our DNA contains something that is like the world has never seen before. And I think, right now, whenever one person is being targeted by so many groups and in such a large amount, it's to tell you that, obviously there's something that scares people about these people, because it really makes no sense. Haiti itself, we have about maybe 18 million Haitians in the world. We are tiny compared to the billions and billions of people that inhabit the earth right now. So for a big country like the U.S. to find this small group, small population to pick on, it encouraged me to read our history, and encouraged me to see why it is that they would fear having free Haitians just living about and learning and going to school, raising their family, not causing any problems at all. People say we're being punished for 1804. That is ridiculous, because the U.S. just celebrated its 250-year anniversary. When they came here, they came in the on concept that they were coming for religious freedom, but we know history teaches us that that's not the case at all. And they came here, and the land that they took, it was stolen, and they brought slaves here, and they killed a lot of people. And so if we're gonna judge people by history, we should judge everyone by their history. So, and us Haitians, we fought for our freedom. We weren't trying to steal land, we weren't trying to bring slaves in, we were just trying to fight for our freedom, because we didn't feel like we wanted to be slaves anymore. We don't take kindly to being slaves. We don't take kindly to injustices. That's something in our DNA. That's why I believe that we will rise above all of this. And I think, although you might hear people being sent to Haiti, I think sometimes what looks like a retreat, what looks like failure, could be something completely different. And I look forward to the future, because I think the future is going to prove me exactly right, and that Haitians we cannot be defeated. We will never be defeated. We will never stand down. We will never stop fighting for our rights. But I call on you to be brave. Be brave and speak your mind and say the truth, that you are Haitian and you're proud of it. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see people playing around with a passport saying, "Oh, look at me." It's like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculousness. If you're an adult, that's absolutely ridiculous. Show me how brave you are. Show me how proud you are, and step and say, "You know what? I'm a Haitian. I love Haiti. I love Haiti. I'm proud to be a Haitian," because that's what you've been saying up until now. Now, you want to change the narratives just to go along with the wave of things. That's really it's a sad thing. And and I pray for you. If that's your mindset, I pray for you, because obviously God is not in your presence. Obviously God is not in your heart, because no man should ever laugh at somebody else's pain. And if that's something that you do, then you need to go in the mirror and really reflect about who you really are, because no one's impressed. You're not impressing anyone. I mean, to do what everyone else is doing, like 100 other thousand people doing it, you're doing it too. You weren't the first, and you're not the last. So it's like, what are you? You're just somewhere in the middle there. Somebody maybe saw your click and make a click, a couple of clicks, saw your views. It's like, how does that make you feel? Proud? Does it really? And even if it does, something is very wrong here. Something is very wrong with you. As a Haitian, I love all Haitian people. I'm extremely proud of everything that we've accomplished, and I am extremely excited for our future, because what you're seeing right now is the making of one of the greatest nations of the world. What you're seeing right now is a phoenix that's going to rise from its ashes. What you're seeing right now is the beginning of our time. Never again will the world you will laugh at another Haitian. Never again. And I dare say this may be the last time you laugh at all, because when you mess with God's children, God's chosen, that's a grave, grave, grave sin. God put us here, and He did create us equally, but obviously He made some of us better because Alexis the first, I'm a little better than that. I am proud to be a Haitian. I am proud of all those Haitians that are like, going through it right now, but yet they're like still able to live and fight and go on because we're used to fighting. This is nothing for us. This is not news. Social media is new, therefore it's more rampant. It's all over the place. But I gotta tell you, us being picked on, that's not something new for us. We've been picked on. I remember when I first came to the U.S., we'd be called boat people. There was a time when we were accused of bringing AIDS into the country. We had a massive earthquake with, thousands of people died, and we have gang violence that's like, like predominant right now. We are used to fighting. We are used to this. This is nothing for us. Maybe a lot of people might see this back, oh my God, I cannot believe, but as a Haitian, I mean, we're built tough. We're built to withstand the test of time. So while others may have fallen, while others may have like taken this and like, fall into themselves, I think more than ever, this is the opportunity for any Haitian to really stand up against the system, against those that are saying these horrible things, and say, you know what, I don't really believe in that. I don't really think it's a good thing. I'm not proud at all that this is happening to other people. As an American, can you truly say you're proud of the way your country is acting right now? Because if you look in history, if you look back in history, there's only one other time that I can point to that reflects what we're seeing right now, and that wasn't something that we can ever say anyone's proud of. That's not something that Germany will ever say. Hey, we did this and we're great and we're proud of it. So to be acting and to repeat the same history as the country you defeated for what they did is really high in true hypocrisy. A lot of things is going on. The economy is tanking. We have someone in power who is very, very, I would say like almost an embarrassment to the country. He's a sinister man. But I understand his why he's here. He's here because he was meant to bring about this time, and in history, all of history, and in nature, all of nature, all things go up and down every time. I mean, when Greece was one of the greatest nations in the world, I don't think anyone ever saw, even conceptualize that these countries would fail because they were the greatest nation. They conquered almost all of Middle East, Egypt, and some of Africa, but yet they fell. They did fall, and so that goes to tell you that it's not a far-fetched idea that what's happening right now is the decline of a civilization. It's not far-fetched to believe that this country is on its way down and not up, and that the actions that it's taking right now are exactly those things that are going to bring that fall to fruition. So think about things, reflect on it, reach out to other communities, especially here in Miami. I welcome Haitians and Black Americans to come together because we share a similar history. As far as we can recall, our history began on a slave ship. And although the journey is different because, we were there and they were set here, but, we basically were taken from our homes, separated from our families, and taken as slaves. So this is something that we went through with you. We suffered with you. We all are the same. And granted, you were what you were, but all of this is all God's world. This is God's planet. There's no territory that belongs to man. There's no part of earth that belongs to any man. This is God's planet. So therefore, like the option to move about, it should be freedom. It should be free to do that on God's planet. God is our Father. Therefore, He owns a planet. Therefore, if my Father's planet, I can go anywhere that I want. I understand we have countries and I understand we have laws, but so far these people who are being targeted are law-abiding people. These are people who came here legally. These are people who were welcomed to this country because this country needed labor. So the fact that this is happening right now is highly unjust. It's highly wrong, and I implore you to really look into the history of the world. Look at the history of Haitians. Look at the history, and it will show you exactly where we're going. We started on a slave ship, but we didn't stay there. We started as slaves, but we didn't stay there. We fought for that. We demanded that. So we will fight for this again. I thank God for making us the way that He made us. He made us to be fighters, resilient, and He also taught us to love. And so that's what I'm looking for right now, is for some of us to remember that God is love. And if you do not have love in your heart, you have to accept that you do not have God in your heart. So if you go to church, if you pray, if you read the Bible, if you say God bless you, think about what you're doing and how God will respond to that. You laughing at people's pain and misery. Is that God-like? Is that the way of God? God, when they laughed at the prostitute, He said no. But yet we have law-abiding people who are here just living their lives, being thrown into detention, being deported, torn from their family, and you can laugh about that. I mean, I wonder if even Satan was stood this low. So you should need to think about yourself and your soul, and understand one thing. God is a good God, but He's also a vengeful God. And when you sin against God, you have to expect that you will pay a price for that. And laughing at others' misery is, I think, one of the lowest form of sins, because you're laughing just because you're on TV, on social media. When the camera goes off, I doubt you're laughing at all, because I understand what's going on in this economy. I understand what's going on in this world. No one is in a laughing mood. No one has anything to laugh about. No one's laughing all the way to the bank. So you're laughing on social media. When it goes off, can you look at your bank account and laugh? Laugh and cry probably. Do you have a stable job? Do you have a home that you own? A lot of people that are laughing, they have nothing themselves. So this is what it takes to elevate themselves. Being able to laugh at somebody. I mean, that is like bullying in the lowest form. And parents taught us this. Bullies bully because they lack confidence. That's who you are. You lack confidence. You don't believe in yourself. You feel like the only way that you can be relevant is to pick on someone else. But I guess someone picked on you first, because that's the only way you could learn this kind of behavior, is by having experienced it. And I am sorry for you. I'm sorry for you, and I pray for you. But let God in your heart, let the hate out, and start embracing your true identity. Start embracing who you are. We are beautiful people. We are a perfect person, people. There is nothing about us that says flaw. Is there some good, some bad? That's everywhere. But learn about your culture, learn about your people. I go to Haiti frequently, and I'm always fascinated how welcoming this country is, how welcoming the people are, and to hear people like say things like, "Oh, Haitians this, Haitians that," and I tell them, please, you don't know every Haitian, you don't know 90% of Haitians, you don't know 80% of Haitians, you don't know 50% of Haitians. Therefore, for you to make that generalization is wrong. It's wrong. It's false. Okay, so you're lying. Understand that, and it's like these lies, they tend to like breed themselves in your home. Your kids, when they hear things about Haitians, you are making those kids to be that. You are making them nothing. You're making them liars. You're making them thieves, because you said Haitians are thieves, Haitians are liars. You are making them that. You are creating you are speaking out the very words that your kid will become. Nothing is without consequence. Even the things you do in silence. Nothing is without consequence. I'm not here to judge anybody. I try to be impartial, but I can't help but be just a tad bit angry that it is out on people that is, making mockery of each other. It's time for that to stop. Everything has to stop one day. It's time for that to stop. Let's see if you're brave enough to stop. Let's see if you're brave enough to go back on TikTok and say, you know what, guys, I was joking around with this passport or whatever. I'm proud to be a Haitian. I'm sorry you guys are going through this. I'm with you. I pray for you. Let's see how brave you can be. And this is a challenge. It's a test for you. Let's see who can be brave out there. Let's see who can go against the narrative. Let's see who can say something different besides what everyone else is saying. It's becoming redundant. It's becoming just, it's becoming just like a meme. You're becoming a meme. You can break away from that. You can be an individual. You can be yourself. You can still, God loves uniqueness. He's made about 117 billion people to date. And do you know not one of us is the same? 117 billion. He loves unique. He loves different. God doesn't like the same thing over and over again. So I think he'll be proud of you if you can like stand away from the pack and be different, because he created you to be different. He didn't create you to follow and be like everybody else. If you're gonna follow something, follow someone, follow Alexis the First, because Alexis the First is a it is a revolution. It is an evolution. It is the evolution that's going to change all things, not just the lives of Haitians, not just here in Miami, but when I say all things, that's exactly what it is. All things. It's an evolution to change all things. So I welcome you. I welcome you to change. That's what this is about, a change. I welcome you to evolve, to become better. When you evolve, you improve on yourself. You become better. You grow. So I welcome you to evolve. Let's see what it looks like when you evolve. Let's see what it looks like when you change. Let's see what it looks like when you put God in your heart. Before you go out there and say, "Oh, Haitians," you go out there and make fun of somebody, let's say, is this something God would want me to do? And if it's not something God would want me to do, how do you think God feels about that? So if you lose your job, if things go bad for you, please understand, because a lot of people say, I don't know why these things happen. Please understand that if you sin, you will be punished. And I think that's what a lot of people are feeling right now. People are being punished because we moved away from God. We have left God behind. God is like something like that we do at church, but it's like it's not part of our day. We don't pray before we leave the house. We don't pray when we get back in. We don't acknowledge God throughout the day because a godly person would never ever stand and do something like this, because this is the lowest. This is the lowest. I mean, I think Satan is very happy to see this. I mean, you are literally fueling Satan's fire. Think about that. You giving Satan room to come here and do whatever he wants because you're laughing at something that I know your heart is crying about. I don't believe for 1 second that you think there's anything funny about this, because this is your family, these are your neighbors or your friends that it's happening to. These are regular, ordinary people who have committed no crimes, who've done nothing but live their lives the way according to the law of the land. These are your neighbors. These are your friends. These are your church members. These are your kids' parents, the kids' friends at school parents. And these are the people you're laughing at. If you laugh at one, you laugh at all. And anybody who laughs at any Haitian definitely laughs at Alexis the First. Definitely laughs about my mom, laughs about my sisters, laughs about my brothers. And when you make this generalization, you're talking about me also. When you say Haitians are thieves, liars, whatever, you're talking about yourself and me also. Because you have just described yourself to the world. You have just called yourself a liar and a cheat to the world. Because if Haitians are that and you are Haitian, that makes you a liar and a cheat and everything else that you said. You have just defined yourself. So don't be surprised if something comes for you that people judge you by the same words that you uttered, that you're a liar, we're thieves, we're no good. That is you. That is your sister, that is your brother, that is your mother, your son, your daughter. All of you are that. Everybody in your household is a thief. Everyone in your household is untrustworthy, they're crooked. Everybody, you are. That's who the world, people who have been around Haitians, New York, I don't know, New York, maybe like Ohio, Iowa, whatever, they are basing the definition of a Haitian based off of what you just said on social media, based on what another Haitian just told them. So think about that. Think about, how far these things can go. Think about how much harm this can cause. It's not just like the trauma, it's also the personal and physical harm that can come to those people because you uttered these words. You may have just cost someone their life. You may have just cost someone their freedom because of your ignorance and stupidity. So stop. I mean, you've gone too far. You come to a place where you've gone too far. Like, how low can you really go? I hope this is your lowest. I pray this is your lowest, because I cannot imagine that you can go lower than this, that anyone can stoop lower than this. Um, I pray for you. And I pray for all of my Haitians. I pray for all of my Black Americans. I pray for all of America. I pray for all of Haiti. I pray for all the world because God loved all of us. He created all of us. And as it is, we are all related. But what I will not stand for is that an identity that identifies me, my mother, my siblings to be used and slandered by ignorant people who don't understand that basically what you're doing is just talking about yourself. You have just talking about you. You're talking about yourself. So it's a sad thing, isn't it? That you just called yourself a liar and you didn't even know it. You just called yourself crooked. You didn't even acknowledge. You didn't. You probably didn't even realize what you're doing. So read a little bit. I mean, stop and read, learn, teach yourself to not be stupid, because these stupid accusations, this stupid statement, they said there's no. There are some things that are stupid. That's stupid. That's very stupid. Because where can you go now? Can you leave an area where there's no Haitians? Can you just told people that you're a liar, you're a crook, you're a thief? Why should why should they hire you? If we cannot get a job, this is one of the reasons why. Because you just told everybody that we're thieves and we're crooked. If we are being deported and treated like animals and dogs, that's because you said the same thing. Because and you're laughing about it. You're okay with it. You are the ones that's perpetuating this abuse, these lies. You are the one that's responsible for that. A lot that comes from you yourself. So people are saying, well, politicians, well, Trump, well, start with yourself. I can't do anything about the Trumps. I can't do anything about politicians. I do encourage you to vote, but start with yourself. It starts with self. It starts with one. It starts with you. It starts with I. That's how things get started. That's how they grow. You believe it or not, it starts with one. God started with one. So if you can change, and maybe one day you'll be worthy enough to have somebody to ask somebody else to change. Maybe they'll see change in you and they say, wow, this is a positive thing. I want to be positive like that guy. I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if people followed you because you were doing something positive and not just following the trend, and you were just following somebody else and you were just being stupid? Can you be a leader? Can you be more than a follower? I guess we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out, and time will tell. But I don't think our victory is far behind. So I do want to say to you, welcome to the evolution. Welcome to the change. Welcome to Haitians that actually think. We exist. We do exist. Haitians that understand what's going on. Haitians that see behind just what is being rampant on social media. A Haitian that goes to Haiti and travels all over Port-au-Prince and see everything. It's not everything that you see or hear that's the truth. That's why the written word is there. It's like it's a dying art, but it's still there. It's still there for you to understand a little bit of your history. It's never going to be 100% facts. Understand that, man, we write from our perspective, from our we are subjective when we write. We are biased, but some of the facts do remain. Some of the facts are that a group of slaves were taken from Africa, taken to an island in Haiti, where they were enslaved by the French, where they turned the same rifles or whips back on their masters, and they won. There is no other story like that in history. None. We are the only one. So that is why we are proud. That's why we talk about 1804, because we're the only one to have done that. Even the Americans, they escaped Great Britain to come here. They didn't fight. They didn't rebel. They fought when they got here after they got all this land and they got all these weapons and everything. But they didn't fight with nothing. We fought with nothing. We fought with what we had. There's no other history like that on planet Earth. And that is why it's a big deal. That's why we talk about 1804 like it's a big deal. It's not because we're trying to brag. It's because we have done something that the world has yet, any other person, any other people have yet to repeat. So yeah, we should be proud of that. And it's okay to be proud. And being proud doesn't mean that I look down on you. It doesn't mean that I don't love you if you're Black Americans or if you're what. It's that it just means that I'm proud of myself, and you have things to be proud of yourself also. But I mean, don't hate me just because I'm proud of my history, because I'm proud of where I came from. It is who I am. I was born a Haitian, and lucky for me. Like thank God. I thank God because I mean, it's awesome to be a Haitian. It really is. I mean, you probably like if you follow the trend in the news or whatever, you probably think, man, trust me, it's an awesome feeling when you wake up. You're like, oh, I'm still a Haitian. It's awesome because that means that history can never be taken away from me. I would never stop being me. I get to be a Haitian forever. I get to claim that forever, and that is an honor, and I thank God for that. That was greatest blessing. So I pray for you and pray for each other and try to put God more a little bit in on social media. When you get on social media, hey, God bless you, everyone. How you doing? I just say the word God and see if that doesn't change your narrative. That doesn't change, what you're gonna say or how you're gonna do it. Try it. Just try putting God into things, into social media. We need more God in social media. I don't mean religion. I don't mean church. I don't mean. I'm talking about just God. Just you and one-on-one relationship with your dad, your father that created you. If you're a parent, you know what that's like. So if you love your kids, imagine how much God loves you. He is a parent just like you. So it's the same relationship, and you have a one-on-one. You can have a one-on-one relationship with your dad. You don't need to go to a church. You don't need to be part of a religion. He's your father. He's gonna take you as you are. But also, if you are not a good person, if you're not a good person, God can help you to change and become a better person, become a better son, become a better daughter. We can all use improvement. We can always improve. There is always room for improvement. And I pray for improvement every day. But mostly what I pray for is love in this world. I pray for love for me, for you, for your kids, for your family, for everyone that lives in Miami, for everyone that's going through a hard time, because that's pretty much all of us. But God has a plan for us. He has a plan for me. He has a plan for us, and you can rest assured that victory is within sight. So read a little bit, pray to God, and try to learn to be a leader. Practice. Okay, I want to thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you guys for taking a chance on listening to something different, something unique from a different perspective. But I welcome everyone to do the same exercise that I do: pray, read, trust, love, and I want you to remember. I came up with this flyer a long time ago, but it exists still. Alexis the first, and it's in Creole. Your évolution a changé toute bagaille. I did it in Creole on purpose because for a long time, Haitians are familiar with the word revolution, not evolution, and that's something I want to ingrain in us. That this is an evolution and not a revolution. And evolution is basically powering up, is basically becoming better, is becoming a better human being, a better person, a whole different species even, but better. You don't evolve backwards, you evolve forwards. You evolve to become better, to be better, ascertain, deal with your environment. When things evolve, they evolve for the better. And that is what I welcome you to do. This evolution is going to change everything. And I welcome you to join and be part of the evolution. I love you guys. God bless. And keep God in your heart. Keep God in your heart. Have a good night.